I'm just going to spend a little bit of time talking about biologics and biosimilars as well. So when I was talking about the other medications, those are mostly chemical-based. When we're talking about biologic medications, these are made from living cells. They're naturally variable. So that means that they can't make, you can't make an exact copy of them. They are usually very, very expensive. They take a lot more technology and R&D to create, and that's why they're usually one of the top drugs in your plan designs, because they are so expensive. When we talk about biosimilars, there are a lot of biosimilars now available on the market. They're similar to, but they are not exact copies of the biologics, just because, the originator biologics, because of the variability in the living cells that I mentioned earlier. The good news is that, actually this is very interesting, is the provincial governments are leading the charge in biosimilar switching. This says 8 provinces. It's actually 9 now because PEI just came on board last week in terms of having an automatic biosimilar switching policy. So what that means is the originator biologics are no longer being paid for by public plans. Ontario is in a transition period right now up until the end of December, and that means that those Humiras, the Remicades, the Enbrels, they'll no longer be covered under the public plans. What's really interesting about this is that BC, which was the first province to have a biosimilar switching policy, and they started it back in 2019, they've had incredible results in terms of the uptake and the switching policy. So now, even just last year, biosimilars represented 60% of their total biologic spend. And when we talk about the cost of biosimilars being 40 to 60%, so maybe half the cost, there are huge savings available here. What we would recommend is you talk to your consultant about what your insurer is doing. The insurers are kind of a little bit late to the game here because some of the provinces have started this a lot earlier than the insurance companies have. But some insurers have already switched to mandatory biosimilar switching, so they won't even pay for the originator biologics anymore. Some of the other insurers are taking their time. They've got voluntary programs available, but that's going to change. We're going to see a dramatic change in that at the end of this year and probably early in 2024 about how the insurers are taking on the biosimilar switching policies. And again, as I mentioned before, communication is really, really key. Just making sure your employees or plan members understand that, again, these are just as therapeutically effective. They're half the cost. And when we talk about plan sponsors paying for these drugs, we can't forget that employees or plan members are also maybe paying a portion of the costs for these medications. If there's a co-share or they're paying a portion of their healthcare premiums, this can have a dramatic impact on their cost savings as well.